and welcome to the 250, the podcast where we watch an absurd amount of movies and give our unprofessional opinions on them in an audio format for your listening pleasure. With me as always is my co-host Jonathan. How are you, John?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Douglas?
That's good to hear. I'm doing really well.
I'm doing great. So this podcast is basically, one of my favorite party tricks is just hang out and look at the IMDb top 250. It's, there's a lot of good conversation there, and I was doing that with my pal Douglas here the other night.
Hi, that's me.
And we decided for 2020, we want to watch all of them. So we're going to do that and check in, have a little bit of discussion about what we think. There's a couple of films there that we've seen before that we like a lot, so we're pretty excited for those. And then there's also some really weird stuff, like some Chinese films and Indian films we haven't seen.
So many foreign films. I was not expecting there to be that many foreign films on the list, but it's
so that's a bit of diversity.
It's the IMDb's top 250 as of January 2020 as a snapshot that we're taking, and we'll be using that snapshot throughout the period of the podcast. So undoubtedly the top 250 is going to change and evolve throughout this year. Hopefully some more entries are going to come out in 2020. The new Nolan movie, I'm expecting to smash into the 250, and there might be some other surprises, so wait and see. But we'll be going through each film, starting from number 250 and working our way through to numero uno,
which is The Shawshank Redemption, of course.
Wow, spoiler alert.
Of course.
Unbelievable.
So we're not film professionals
by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, no, not really. So we're going to try and stick to the solid facts to begin with. We'll try and talk about interesting things we found out about how it was made and, just general trivia. But we're also pretty keen to chip in with our opinions. Hopefully we'll get better at that as we go.
I feel like it's going to be kind of an experiment in itself in analyzing film and videography and things like that. I think it's going to be a good experience for the both of us to think a little bit more critically about what we're watching. So,
100%.
and be able to express that articulately, or as articulately as we possibly can.
Yeah. So we're going to try and separate it up between spoiler and spoiler-free sections. But I think it makes sense to talk about some spoilery stuff. So. If you're watching along with us, then not an issue.
Yeah, I think it, for some of the movies that are on the list, there's some that struck me out pretty immediately, in that the reason some of those movies are so fantastic is because they have this amazing plot twist that is hidden within the movie. And if you know that there is a plot twist in the movie before you're going to watch it, then the whole movie you're just going to be sitting there going, when's the plot twist? When's the plot twist? I know there's a plot twist in here. And that kind of ruins the whole shtick. So I really want to try and be courteous to our lovely listeners and treat them with a level of censorship so that you can still, if you do want to go and see some of the movies that are on this list, then you can still listen to this podcast and still go enjoy those movies as if you were watching them for the first time. And then you can come back and listen to the rest of the podcast.
Easy. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Some tidbits and little bits of information while I was compiling the spreadsheet, staying up until 2:30, color coding everything and getting all of the genres and getting it all organized. Out of the 250 movies, there are 7 movies that were released in 2019. I think that's pretty phenomenal.
We're doing okay.
If you take a look at,
okay.
Yeah, I guess. If you take a look at the 250, there's not much consistency in the years. There's consistency in decades more often than not. Like the 80s were very strong. There's some good hits from the 90s, but not ever from one particular year. So I found that very interesting that 2019 has smashed out with 7, but as I said before, the 250 is an ever-changing list. So I'm sure that a lot of movies smashed into the top 250 last year and are slowly going to be mixed and changed around throughout this year. So Always interesting. There are 135 movies classified as drama. So strap
More
in for
than
some
half.
drama. Yeah, yep. But within drama, there's subgenres within that actual category. So there's drama war, drama crime, drama mystery, drama film noir. So there's hopefully going to be a good level of diversity.
Variety.
Yeah, amongst all of the movies. Speaking of diversity, there are a total of 24 animated movies within the top 250, which makes me very happy. I'm personally a big fan of animated film. I think it doesn't get enough credit. There's a nice little blend of Eastern animated films and Western animated films, so I'll be looking forward to sweeping across those ones when we get to them.
So, what are you in particular excited about, Douglas?
Any movies I'm excited about? Or
Any movies you're excited about, Douglas?
a lot
Or
of
just experiences?
a lot of stuff.
How do you feel about the future?
Just what are you thinking? Tell me your
What are you
mind.
thinking in general?
Where you
Separate
going
to
with
this
your life?
podcast.
Yeah. What are you doing tomorrow? I'm very keen to revisit a lot of these movies. A lot of these movies I've seen maybe once or twice before, and I've gone, oh yeah, and then I just kind of put it away, and moved on to watching other media. I'm really keen to trash. I'm keen to take a look back at some of these movies that I've watched once before, and then come at them again with a fresh eye and a little bit more of a hopefully critical eye as well, and be able to pick them apart and find out what is it that makes them so fantastic. And a lot of the movies that I haven't seen before, which I'm also excited. There's a lot of movies that I've had that I've just kind of had in the back of my mind that I've always wanted to check out, but just never had the time or the reasoning behind really checking them out. A lot of the stuff that's in the top 25-ish range tends to be where a lot of the stuff that I haven't seen is going to come in.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Silence of the Lambs, Forrest Gump, Schindler's List.
Have you not seen Gump?
No, haven't seen Gump. Saving Private Ryan. A lot of those movies I missed them by some stretch of the imagination. I'm really keen to get a look at those guys for the first time and see what all the fuss is about.
So I've had all this time to sit here and think about what I'm excited about, but literally all that's going through my head is I really want to watch Snatch again. And I know there's nothing stopping me, but I want to freak out about Snatch in recorded audio format that will last forever for the future generations.
You now have a platform where you can rant about Snatch. That's what this entire podcast is leading up to.
I can't wait to just quote that film for 2 hours and then
3 hour long podcast of Jonathan drooling over Snatch.
And then that's just it. That's the whole podcast. I'm pretty keen to watch some Akira Kurosawa stuff. I've been recommended a lot of that. It's just bloody. There's so many classics, mate. Clockwork Orange. Damn. I'm just looking at the spreadsheet.
I haven't seen Clockwork Orange.
This is not good radio. I'm just like randomly looking at stuff.
You're just
Star Wars. Have you seen Star Wars?
Have you heard of Star Wars?
War
Stars.
We're also thinking of we're gonna do some bonus episodes. There's a lot of films there's some films that we really like that didn't hit the list, and
some honorable mentions.
Talk about them. So we're gonna talk about them anyway, because there are no cops on the internet. So we're just gonna do what we want. And as you mentioned before, there's a couple of films we're expecting to be, at the very least, interesting. Obviously the new Nolan film, because that man is crazy.
He has about 6 movies in this top 250 list, 6 or 7.
He's a fucking heavy hitter here.
Yeah.
So,
statistically, it would definitely make sense for his movie to hit the top 250.
Yeah. So we're gonna, but regardless, if we watch anything separate to this and it really tickles our fancy, then we'll talk about that as well. Have a little separate bonus episode for all the cool kids. There's
going to be some guests throughout the period of the podcast as well. We've got some of our lovely companions who are experts in some of these movies that are going to be coming in and sharing their opinions with us. So yeah, that's really exciting.
So yeah, how you feeling, Douglas? How excited are you?
I'm really excited.
Energy level 0 to 10. Scale of 0 to 10. What are you at?
Solid 9.
Oh shit. That's not bad.
Fuck.
Shit.
No, I'm very excited. I've been thinking about this for ever since we both kind of said we were going to do it. I've been thinking about it. So yeah.
Hey, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty hyped.
It's going to be good. It's and I can't wait for you to come along for the ride, dear listener.
Yeah. Dear listener. Dear audience.
Dear ear.
Unwashed masses.
Unwashed? What if they're having a shower right now? Oh. Well, thank you for tuning into the 250. And we'll see you again real soon.
See you later.